Nut. All right, rare drops. Thank you all for being so patient. Are you guys ready? Are you ready, chat, for our second episode of Talk of the Afterlife? All right, cuties. Hello and welcome to our second episode of Talk of the Afterlife. Give me just a moment. Everything exploded right before the stream, but hey, it's not like we haven't been there before. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome, Rare Drops family members, new friends. My name is Skulls Nightshade, and this is Talk of the Afterlife, where we talk about things beyond the world of the living. So before we get started, just a friendly reminder, sounds and other redeems are unavailable during the show. We do have alerts for raids, things like that. Please don't spend bits on the sounds. I cannot refund them, and they won't go through for the talk show. So just keep that in mind. But feel free to support the chat in any way that you would like otherwise. All right. And let's see, do we have any announcements this week? I don't think so. We do have some things changing in VRChat for me, and we have some other things I can't really tell you just yet. Of course, we have our normal events next month too, so just keep an eye out for that on Discord. But I know I kept you guys waiting for long enough, huh? All right. Well, this week we have a wonderful, amazing guest I want to introduce you to. Everyone, meet Midnights in Valhalla, or I like to call you Midnight. So
yeah, pretty much.
Tonight we have Midnight. They are the Midnight Bar owner in VRChat. They have raised thousands of dollars for charity and recently became a Twitch partner. Well deserved. They're a very passionate and creative person that always tries their best to make sure their community has an even better experience every time. So, do you want to introduce yourself to chat?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Midnights in Valhalla. I am VRChat's nightly bartender, owner of the Midnight Bar in VRChat, Twitch partner, and YouTube variety streamer, and first-generation virtual market ambassador. Yeah, I've done a lot of charities spanning over almost 3 years now, coming up to 4. Raised about $15,000 with both Tiltify and Twitch combined. And yeah, I just reached partner 2 weeks now, coming up 3. I still can't believe that. I still can't believe that. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
I'm so proud. I am so freaking proud of you. Yes. And like, you're such an interesting person. Like, you've done so much for the community. I don't know, you're just all around interesting. And I'm sure chat would like to know more about you other than me just, yapping about you because you're a friend of mine. So let's get into some questions. Are you ready?
Sure. Yeah. Ready
All
as
right.
I will be.
Chat, you guys ready? Okay. So the first thing we always start off with, how long have you been creating content?
Coming up to about 4 years.
4?
I had an older name, and then rebranded into Midnights in Valhalla, 3 years through. And and I was kind of thinking about exactly what name I wanted to change to because originally my name came from like all the way back in the MSN gaming zone days of like
Oh
early mid
goodness.
2000s. Yeah,
MSN.
and
Oh my gosh. We're old.
yeah, show my
We're
boomerism here.
old, chat.
Yeah,
We're
no,
old.
I I'm gonna be needing my walker soon, believe it or not. So it was I've actually been on Twitch for about 15 years now, more of a viewer. And then I started really getting into streaming a little bit more serious because of a friend of mine. Name is someone, literally some underdash or underscore one,
Mhm.
and thought I was entertaining, and I didn't believe in him on that. I was like, nah, all I do is yap, I talk. That's all I do. I was known for my Sombra skills in Overwatch. I think diamond competitive. I
Yo,
had
let's
like 500
go.
hours.
Diamond Squad.
Yeah, 538 hours. Mostly though, I prefer just playing casual because I don't usually like the competitive scene much. And
Yeah.
then also, just right after, I started playing Genshin when it first came out.
Hmm.
So I was known for those two games, and then eventually I kind of just now to what I am now is, a social bartender, variety streamer. It's
Oh,
kind of a
yay.
crazy thing that happened.
That is
Hmm
like, oh my gosh, that's such a wild journey, it
Yeah,
seems.
I didn't,
But the thing
I
is,
didn't expect to even be here.
I feel like for a lot of us, we don't see the potential we have to do these kinds of things, right? Like,
Hmm
I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I remember being young and hanging out with my friends and just being silly and making my friends laugh or like putting on a show and a performance. And then one thing that stuck with me was like my friend's mom came up and was like, "You're gonna be like an entertainer or a comedian or something one day." And like it's just it takes that one person thinking that you're like just showing you what you can do that can help you realize your
Mm.
potential. So
hmm
amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you. I mean, one of the things is always self-doubt, always doubting
Yeah.
yourself that you can't do it. And, both of us, we were thinking, I hope we're not being boring or I hope we're not, saying something that make us like get canceled because you know how it is nowadays.
Right.
But it's the perseverance of pushing through that doubt, which is always the hardest thing. I mean, depression hits you hard sometimes. You don't know it. The burnout can happen.
Mhm.
We've all gone through that in one part of our lives, and you just have to just keep plowing through those walls. And once you do, then it feels good. And again, I'm still can't believe I'm in this position where I have partner, and I could tell you so much more about it, but it's just like it's such a long story, and I mean I don't want to like think there's a doubt. Just I don't want to bore people on it. It's cool and all, but
Bro.
like
Chat. Tell this person it's a talk show. Oh gosh.
do
Please tell
do
us
they
more
know?
about please tell us more. Tell us more.
Okay. So originally, when I first started doing Midnights in Valhalla, if you want to know a little bit more lore about the name, so the Midnight part in Midnights in Valhalla was based off of the band The Midnight, and then Valhalla, which is based off the game Cyberpunk Bartender Action Valhalla. And I thought, wait, Midnights in Valhalla. It's kind of long, but I can make it work, and it kind of just stuck with me, and so I went with it, and it just stuck, and I went with it, and a couple of my friends I was meeting up. One of their names is I Dream Theater, who did my drinks. That's actually in my model right now that I can just literally spawn them in.
Yo, that's so cool.
He actually yeah, like he worked really hard on trying to make them exactly like if they were in a 3D space for my model and for the whole Valhalla trope that goes with it. But yeah, I visited him in this one world that is a 3D version of the game
Yeah.
and a reimagination of it, and their name is Steins, and you can find it literally if you've played the game. Please do. It's phenomenal. I just randomly went up to the counter, the bar, And then I thought about it while my friends were talking over at the mirror, because you know how people are.
Hmm.
They'll be looking at a mirror. But before we had personal mirrors in VR chat, we actually had to
Yeah.
turn on a mirror and then watch it from the wall, right? Um,
True.
so, so I was like, you know what? I kind of want to see how this goes. So
Yeah.
one night I was like bringing my friends in, and I'm saying to myself, hey, you guys want to join me? I'm going to stream for like a few hours. Little did I know it's going to be 8 hours. I did that for a whole
Yes.
year. I did 8 hours almost for Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. 8 hours. I
That
mean,
is
way
that is
more. And it
crazy. Like your first week.
def
Also, Volts, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate
yeah.
it.
Hey, and so I just kind of went with it. I became a character from the game. Her name is Jill Stingray.
Yeah.
Eventually I wanted to get an OC because I didn't want to, use a character from a game,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Because copyright stuff. But I mean, I wasn't a partner at the time. I wasn't an affiliate. I was just starting,
Just doing
right?
it for fun.
Eventually. Yeah, exactly. I was just doing it for fun, and little did I know what was it was gonna snowball into. I
Hmm.
actually got to meet the creator of the game, Kyrian51, in his Discord, and I was just as Jill in a voice chat, on my own, and people start gathering in and saying, "Oh, that's so cool." And then all of a sudden, Kieran, everyone was telling him to come in, and it happened. He came in, he was talking with me, and the dream I had, wanting an actual bar in Toronto, as like a style of like the game.
Yeah.
But the
Wait, like a
the
real
realistic
bar?
thing,
Like you
yeah,
wanted to like
yeah, in
what?
Toronto.
I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't know this
Hmm.
part of the story.
Yeah. And then I realized, well, I gotta hire people. I have to get a liquor license. I've got to train. I got, all
Yeah.
those types of things I got to do as a general manager and owner, right? And that could be very overwhelming. Even for
Yeah.
me, I only can do so much, right? I didn't have a partner to do this with. I didn't have anyone with any expertise with it. So I just said, you know what? Let's just make it in a VR space and see how that goes. And he was telling me, he's like, I hope that goes well for you. So that was like basically a blessing. Him like
Yeah.
saying, go for it, right? And so I did, and eventually I got a model, which is, you might have seen it around, from like Virtual Market. There's an old picture of me with some friends,
Hmm.
and that has my old avatar, and I had that for about a year before, I mean, the change happened, which was this model is by Mari, by the way.
Hmm.
And I can show you real quick. Here you go. This
You
is my
should
bartending
I
outfit.
don't think chat do you guys know who the model maker is who made their model?
Oh, hmm.
You should
I
tell.
wonder. Should I? Okay. So, well, let me change the aviators back to my actual glasses. There you go. So, and then my hair. So the model is by Mari, or Mari Art, on Twitter. She has a whole bunch of other social media pages, Blue Sky and that. She worked on many other models, such as people like Zentrea, Lumi, some work with Bao, and many others. And I was very lucky because I knew Mari for a while from a friend of mine that I used to hang out with. Their name is Starfire,
Hmm.
and so he recommended me to her, even though she was doing at the time robots. She really likes robots, androids, and stuff like that. But eventually she started to want to do a little bit more than just that. She started to expand her portfolio.
Yeah.
And so it just ended up becoming where she was making cube models,
Hmm.
and making it where the 2D reference sheet that you give her, it basically comes to life in a 3D way. And she does it so insanely well, so
She
much now that
does.
she has over
Yes.
35,000 followers now
Hmm.
on Twitter. So,
Yeah, and
yeah.
I noticed a big thing I feel like people struggle with is compromising when it comes from like a 2D to a 3D design. And I noticed with a lot
Hmm.
of her work, as well as like some talented others, but her being one of them, it's always it's always like almost one to one to the 2D design. Like there's no compromising
Yep.
that needs to be done. It's like you want this made in 3D? Okay, I got you. Hmm.
Yep. And it's very difficult to do that, but Mari just I don't know how she does it. She
Yeah.
literally look at it, get the idea, bring the picture to life, and then yeah, this, which is amazing. And she's grown even more so now ever since she started working with people like VShojo and
Yeah.
other places, which is like again, I'm
That's
so
so
proud of her,
good.
and
That's
we've
so
been so
good.
close for a long time. So yeah,
Yeah, I know
so
that feeling. I have a few artist friends who they after all their hard work, they finally get their work noticed by some bigger names. Like I have a friend who works with a bunch of like Niji Sanji stuff. And does like logos and art. Orihime, you might have seen them. Yeah,
hmm
she literally went
yep,
from like making their own assets, making free assets, doing designs for friends, to now like doing things like that, which is absolutely amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing those types of things grow and watching people grow and doing all these amazing like face rigging that's like you've never seen, or the shading which is beyond like again nothing you've ever seen. It's
Yeah.
so cool to see people that you adore grow, but it also makes you feel sad because you really want to work with them, and they're
Yeah.
they're,
It's like
they're
my
full
poor
and their commissions
budget.
are out for years. And your budget, yeah. Like originally when I paid for this, it was like $2,000
Hmm.
Canadian, by the way. It was the full body, like nude base, all that kind of stuff, of course, because if I were to get like bikinis or any other outfits, and it's easier for to get that working. You
Hmm.
shouldn't have to like make it, paste it, all that kind of stuff. It's all done. So at that point now, she goes anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000 or more.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was very lucky. I was extremely lucky to even get to having something like this, or again, like the outfits and the hair and whatnot. So
Hmm.
yeah, no, and as a friend though, she's phenomenal. She's such a sweetheart, and I'm just so proud of her. I mean, she just won an award just recently for being a new 3D modeler, and that which was a new category for this award thing, like 3D
Yeah.
VTuber thing. Yeah. And it was awesome. So if you're seeing this, Mari, in some way, I'm proud of you. I mean, I already messaged her and she was really happy. So
That's
yeah,
amazing. That is awesome. That is
yeah.
so cool.
I
I'm so happy. Like I don't know, just to hear that. Like I love seeing my artist friends thrive. Because it's hard out here. It's just
hmm
like creating content.
Yep.
You have a lot of other people who are talented as well, who are really trying to push and make their dreams into a career. And seeing it happen for someone
Yeah.
who is talented and works hard, and it's awesome. It's such a good feeling. And that's like
Yeah.
even with that, like not even the technical artist part, but like when it comes to entertaining, that's how I felt when you got like partner. I was so proud. Like I literally was like crying and telling
Thank
Chrono, I'm
you.
like, yeah, I'm so
Oh.
happy. Because the first time, man, I was livid. I was livid, but I feel like it's kind of rite of passage. They have to reject you once. Because I'm
Gonna
like,
make
there's
me
no
cry right
reason.
out here in the talk show. It'd be so sweet. What the
No,
heck?
no, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry. It's not a cry show. Well, it can be.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was just so like stunned when it happened. I told my mom, she didn't even
Yeah.
realize, and she was so happy and proud of me. Living in Canada, especially being how rough it is with like, housing and inflation and all those things. And me being disabled too,
Yeah.
only getting a certain amount of money from disability support, and all these other things. It was very hard for even, what we were going through at the time. But luckily enough, I was able to work hard and start building the community that I share now with who I have, my mod team, the community I've got, my friends,
Hmm.
and like especially my friend who made me the Midnight Bar, Jamal Krisu,
Hmm.
was going to actually mention that. That's the other point too. So eventually, when I stopped using the world beforehand, I had a friend of mine. His name was Wiggly, first of all.
Yeah.
He was someone that I've known for years, of like 7 now, plus years. He made me a world, which you guys would probably not know. it was kind of like on the side. I used that for a little bit, and then the whole project started having problems, lighting issues, texture issues.
Oh
It just started falling
no.
flat. And then my friend, he had a meltdown and went through a lot, so I wanted him to take a break. I didn't care about the money. I or the world. I just wanted to make sure he was okay. So eventually, Melt, he contacted me back because a long time ago I contacted him about how much he would, charge for something like that. He was
Yeah.
saying it could be around in the 1,000 area, right? I'm like, okay, well, I don't have that because I just started, so
Yeah.
I'm broke as heck.
Understandable.
And so basically, what happened was that he came back and he said, "Hey, 2 years ago in January, he was like, are you still looking for a commission?" And then pretty much I said, "Yep, I've got ideas." He's like, "Tell me the worlds that you want me to use as references. Give me any reference sheets,
Mm-hmm.
whatever." So I gave him that. And then eventually, the Midnight Bar was made. And also we were able to get the Valhalla drinks in. So in total, the whole thing costs about $1,750
Mm-hmm.
to invest. I put about $200 because I wanted to get the world out. I
Yeah.
already put half of it in. My community was still young, but they were giving money. It was kind of crazy how much I was getting. But
Yeah.
my first big paycheck was like $1,000 two
Heck
years ago. It
yeah.
was a grand. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this entire thing. I'm gonna put it in here, and then I'm gonna put the remaining of it
Mm-hmm.
in. So it was 1,250 at the time. So then I'm like, here's the other 250. Let's get this out. And the other 500 ended up being two people that got into the Midnight Bar and just put like within 20 or 30 minutes, we raised $500 for
Heck
those drinks.
yeah. That is awesome.
Yeah. So at the end of it all, we never expected it to blow up. Like it was my streaming world. It was unique to me,
Yeah.
paying tribute to the game, and then being able to give the Valhalla fans a way to play the game in the world while still socializing with people when you're a bartender.
Yeah.
And so all that happened, and I was also kind of just, no offense to all the people that have built like clubs and stuff, but I just got tired of clubs. I got tired of dancing poles, private rooms, all those things.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
got
You wanted
tired of it
something a
all.
little different. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I wanted to have a place where people can just find the people that they want to hang out with
Mm-hmm.
instead of going 10 minutes through the world and thinking, where's my friend? They said they're here. Oh, they're in a private room. Great. Never mind. I'm going to go somewhere else. So
Yeah.
this way, it was just a more mainlined way. You go through the door, down the stairs, boom.
Yeah.
There's pretty much everything, right? So at the end of this whole thing, the first time when we started, I think we had it like the first month, we had 1,000 people join that
Oh
world consistently. It
wow.
hit the trending. It blew up. The VRChat team on Twitter tweeted the whole thing about it, and then
Uh-uh.
that blew up. And then now we are at 8.3, 8.4 million visits
Yes, that is
as of today.
crazy. Yeah, I checked
So
wait. I feel like I checked a couple months ago and it was like at like 7 something.
yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. Congratulations. But
Mm-hmm.
no, that's really good because
Thank
like
you.
that's how you have to do it. Like you invested in something you're passionate about. You invested in yourself and you also invested in something that like can push you forward in a way,
Mm-hmm. But there's
So
also just the passion. There's a
exactly,
passion too. Like
exactly.
I love the game. It brought a lot of like life lessons to me, and it
Mhm.
opened my eyes to a lot of other things about socializing. What I used to do with people, customers, when I used to work in retail, it was easy
Yeah.
for me to be able to chat with people as a bartender, but I just never in my mind did Melt and I know what was going to happen right
Yeah.
after that bar was launched. And for people who don't know, we're coming up to the next this 2 year anniversary, which is on, I believe, the 16th of March.
Heck yeah.
Already been 2 years.
So,
So
got any plans for that?
and yeah. I don't know. To be honest with you, we kind of just have people come in. We might even do like karaoke, like
Yeah.
a whole karaoke thing, and they kind of jam with it. I don't know, but I just let the where the wind takes me. Just whatever happens, happens. It's all for fun. We're not It's not about anything serious. We just
But
want
like
people to
that's
come
also how you
together
got
and have a
here.
good.
That's how you got here, was like doing that same thing. So you didn't do it because you're like, I
Yeah,
want
it
to create
was.
a world that is gonna make me super popular, and you did it because you made a world that's based
Yeah,
on something you love, and it's a good way, like a way you want to connect with people. And come to find out, guess what? Other people
yeah,
want to connect that same way. A lot of other people want to connect that same
yeah,
way.
yeah. Yeah, because the bar scene was already big enough in VRChat, right? There are people
Yeah,
going and getting drunk and whatever, and I completely forgot about like, oh, right, bar, duh, right? Jay, like, he creates like he's a game developer. He's making his own game,
yeah,
and he's been doing commissions for a while, and he's made some amazing worlds. Some people might know one of them called Cafe LeBlanc,
hmm,
which was a world that was actually made by a person I believe named Blaze, but Blaze kind of stopped working on it, and JMO was able to take the reins of it and start adding his own little flair to it,
yeah,
and he started making other worlds, and he is very amazing. Like, I really wanted more than anything to see him thrive because he's so underrated, and people were missing out on some of those really cool worlds based off of stuff like characters with Valhalla, not Valhalla, but Persona.
hmm,
He had a world called Udon, which is like a first person. It gets you into first person as the character. There was Takami's medical clinic, and there was a lot of he's known for his Easter eggs, which sometimes in order to find a one Easter egg, you have to go to one of his other worlds and find a
yeah,
room that has that code so you can use it for another. So really thinking kind of thing, right?
yeah,
And so after that, it made me happy. Like him, like when he told me how much it's helped him make a living for himself. Like he never knew it was ever gonna happen. He always would expect, both of us thought, hey, we're gonna only maybe get like 50K, minus 100K for this world, and that's it. No,
yeah.
boom, 8+ million. So, I'm just so happy about that too,
That's
because when I work with
amazing.
artists. Yeah, I
Yeah,
want to make sure that they enjoy one of my philosophies is I want the artist to have fun. I just don't want to
yep,
give them a paycheck. If they're a big fan of it, that's who I want because I know that passion is going to show and echo into the
exactly.
world, their art, and look what you have, right?
Exactly. Like it's not going to be
Most of that hard work.
forced. It's going to be like actual passion when it comes to that. Mm.
Yeah, and it's not just worlds, but like art that I have on my OC,
Yeah.
vice versa, the music, so many other things, right? And that is why I love, like, I do make quite a good amount of money, but most of the time when I'm using the money, it's like 90% back into my work
Yeah,
because
I
I
feel
want to
that.
support the other artists that are maybe struggling, right? Maybe they're
Yeah.
having a hard time. Maybe I can help in a charity. Maybe I can help with, maybe they've got a sub goal or something like that. I'll pop
Yeah.
in and throw in a couple of biddies or some subs and help out the best I can because it's not easy when you're going through a lot of stuff, but if you can give a little bit to someone, it can make their day, and that's
Exactly.
something that I love doing more than anything.
That's how I look at it too. I feel like, especially on my really good months with content creation, most of what I do is either artwork because like my artist friends, I've wanted to commission from them and support them,
Mm,
or I throw it at my friends. I like give subs, I like give bits, like whatever to like help them out
yeah.
because I know how that feels. And I know there's some months where you
Mm-hmm.
can't really do that. Things come
Do
up
it.
or you have to
Yeah.
spend everything on bills or whatever's going on IRL. So yeah, no, I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. And that's why, like I said, like you're very deserving of everything. Like I'm not the one who determines
Of
any of that, of course, but I definitely feel like,
course.
I mean, even chat can probably agree that you are very deserving of everything that is all your success coming to you because like you don't just think about yourself. And when you do, it's from a place of passion. It's not from a place of like, what can I get out of this? How can I benefit from this? Like it's just when it's
Mm,
you, it's I want this to be real. I want this to exist. I want to create this experience.
right.
And then
Yeah.
the rest of it's for
Sometimes
everyone else. And they see that. That's why they love you. That's why they give you things. That's why they support you so hardcore, is because they see that.
I sometimes it like, again blows my mind. I just when people start throwing in money in my face and
Hmm.
it ends up the amounts are just what, like you've seen it. Like sometimes I'll have one person, like I had one person twice give me 100 gifted, like just one of my
Dang,
good friends,
that's
and
crazy.
did that twice, and telling me how much I have helped her because she's been a friend of mine. Her name is Yuki Fang, really amazing person. Works at a hospital, probably one of the hardest workers I know.
Yeah,
Like almost every month, what she would do, like last year. She would every month she would give 10,000 biddies to me to help me with my work and to help me continue. She
that's
really
so
believed in
nice.
what I did, right?
Yeah.
And she went out of her way, and so I always try my best to be there when she needs me, or if there's a time where she needs help and or struggling herself, then I help her out, whether it's emotionally or financially, as best I can.
Yeah.
Um, the fact that I'm able to afford that in some way. I mean, I'm in debt. I mean, I've been in debt for like a very long time because I want to help my family, and that's just how it is being disabled
We are in the
as it
same
is.
age group. And yes, both are people
Yeah,
with disabilities. Being in debt is just kind of something that happens, I feel. I feel like a lot
exactly.
of us
It's
can
part of
relate to
survival.
that.
Gotta get through it.
Yeah. And I think that's
Yeah,
also why
yeah,
people like to
and
help each other too. It's like it's a cycle. It really is. Like
mhm,
if you get like good-hearted people around you, it just becomes a cycle, you know? When you have a little extra, you help
yeah,
this friend. When they have a little extra, they help that friend. And like it always
yep.
comes
Pay it
back
forward.
around some kind of way. And that's not why you do it, but if you do keep that energy out there, it does come back to you.
Yeah, basically the pay it forward mentality,
Mhm.
right? And that even comes to like when I do my charities and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
that's another big can of worms. So much on that one, but I'm proud of what the community I have. I'm proud of because honestly, if it wasn't for them, people that work with me, my mod team, and believing in me, I would not be here. And I can't just. Sometimes it's fine to be selfish. You need to have a little
Yeah.
bit for you, right? Because you can't always. One of the biggest things that anyone can ever tell you, and it's the most common saying, is you got to help yourself before you help
You
others.
do. And
And
it's so easy to kind
it's
of take that
difficult.
as like, yeah, 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 until you really get to the point where
Yeah.
you're just giving and giving and giving. And like recently I finally got to the point where I'm like I have to like take at least a day or
Tone it
something to
down.
like, absorb my energy back or
Yeah.
something. But yeah, when you give and give and give, and if you don't have anything to give, it does take away from you. So yeah, you have to be a little
Yeah.
selfish. But it also shows what kind of person
Hmm.
you are that you have to actually think like that. Because I feel like people who are
Yeah.
selfish don't go, well, is it okay to be selfish? They're just kind of like, no, everything's about me, 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 like,
Well, yeah, and especially how the internet's like, right? Because
yeah.
as soon as you even start thinking about yourself for once,
Hmm.
then the internet just says, "Wow, look at this selfish person. I knew they were going to be like
Yeah.
this." And right, because now we're in an era where it's just everyone's so sensitive about it, and you just
Yeah.
have to, you just gotta weed out the ones that say all these things. And I don't hate them. They're going through their own struggles and problems. I've dealt with grumpy customers when I used to work in retail,
Oh,
when I used to work
goodness.
at Future Shop.
I feel like
Yeah,
everyone
so
I
I
know and
have.
get along with super well has also worked in customer service. It's like a level of like understanding of humans you get when you work in customer service.
Mm,
Because some people will be the
yeah,
nicest ever, and some people will say the absolute worst, not nastiest shit to
worst.
you in passing. And you're like, damn, I don't even know
Hmm.
you. Like, what was that
And you
about?
already got a gun to my head.
Yeah, bro.
I
It's
just
like,
saw
I
you in
have
five
to be
minutes.
here. Like, come on.
Yeah, I've got to make a living. I got to do what I got to do. I've got work.
Yeah.
My boss is telling me one thing and you're telling me another. I'm like, I'm just doing my job, right? But
Yeah.
it's good to have because when you're dealing with people, then you know how to handle it in some way and diffusing the situation when it does arise.
Hmm.
And especially like I had one customer that got really frustrated and I came up to him. They pulled me over to customer service, and I shook this man's hand, and he was like, hi." He was kind of like surprised about the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then I walked him through it, found out that his warranty was over. It was an Xbox 360, by the way, if you want a little bit more context. Again, old back in like 2010s. And so we got him over, we've checked it out, and found out that it was, the laser, it wasn't reading all the discs. We were trying other discs and whatnot. And then all of a sudden I'm just like, you know what? just because I always usually bring something with me. It's not part of my job. I don't have to do it, but I generally want it. I asked the customer, I'm like, I know it's broken. Is it okay if I can do something? Maybe you can help relieve it.
Yeah.
And he's like, sure. I mean, it's broken, whatever. I don't think you can fix it, but go for it. So I had some like this substance that you can use for like lens, like cleaning the lens, because I was thinking it was the lens. So I went in, I put a little bit on, waited for it to dry. I just said, go get a coffee or something. Believe me, we'll see how it goes. He's like, perfect. I got it in my car. So grabbed it, came back, waited about 5 more minutes, and then what happened afterwards? I put it back in. It started working.
Perfect.
And he
oh
was
my God.
so happy. He was so happy, and he was like, "Thank you so much."
Sorry, I'm kind of chaotic over here.
You're fine.
But yeah, no, that's always such a good feeling too, though. And that's the thing. It's like a feeling of like I don't know. Oh my gosh, like satisfaction in helping someone. You know what I mean? And like satisfaction of going above and beyond. And it's partially because that person appreciates it, right? You understand what they're going through. They appreciate it. But I don't know. I guess it's just that genuine feeling of like helping someone. Okay, well, this isn't gonna. Yeah.
It's fine. It's
fine. Okay. Chat just sees your lovely
actually
face
funny
now.
Enough. We were just talking about because we were thinking it would be good to have like a seat toggle where you can like unhook the seat, so if you're full body you don't have to worry about it.
Because every time I click something, I'm just falling into the seat.
We edit and post.
This couch is just really, we're live, but this couch is just really comfy. It's just really comfortable. That's it.
Oh man, I could tell you about all sorts of things about like me getting like stuff off of IKEA and spending like hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on furniture because I really like how nice and like affordable they are. Like they're really affordable, but I mean you have to build it yourself. Luckily enough, I know people that are carpenters, so it kind of works out. But
I know usually I'm like, hey friend, I have this thing for you. You want to come build this for me? Let's hang out.
Yeah, and you're just like, and then you just make it a day, and I'll just give them a bottle of water. I'll take them for dinner or whatever as a thank you. Right? That's what my mom would always do. But like you said, it's about going above and beyond, right? And that's what I try and do with like anyone, because you never know, because they can come back and say, hey, I actually I let my friends know that about you, and when you're getting referred, right, more people come by. I had someone who I knew brought their family from Italy to see me.
From Italy?
Because they were having such a horrible Italy, because we're having such a hard time trying to get proper products over there. So they came to me, and they were going to Canada anyways because family. But they also were trying to find a place, and they referred me. So all the way from Italy to see me. And then I even talked to him about, the coverage that we had and all those types of things. Yeah. Because when you buy it from another country, I don't know if people know this, because not a lot of people read like the fine prints and stuff. But when you buy something from another country and take it over to another one, you completely null and void your warranty.
I was going to say the warranty, the warranty is nullified.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. That is definitely something I feel like a lot of people don't know. Even though if you think about it, it makes sense.
Well, they don't care.
Most people don't care. You're just like, if you get the warranty, you're not reading it. You're like, okay, how many years? All right, whatever.
Exactly. How much money is this? How much am I going to have to spend? I don't want to add already what I have. Exactly. And then something bad happens, and then they complain about it, and they're like, well, it broke, and I wasn't in the country at the time. Like, well, that we tried to tell you, but you didn't want to listen. So, you get those lessons, and to be honest with you, the only best lesson you can get is them getting the reality slap them across the face.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we all got to learn like that, right? I've learned a lot, and I've learned a lot of lessons that way. Let me tell you, once you learn once,
you don't want to do it again. And believe me, I know that feeling all too well. And
it's like playing a game and skipping the tutorial. You know what I mean? And then like you don't know what to do later, and you're like, I can't go back.
Me of that one Cuphead video of that one IGN reviewer that was trying hard to do the tutorial, and he's like, "How do you do this?" And it was slapped right there. Sorry, that was the funniest thing.
I remember that. Oh my god, it made me feel good though. I was like, "Wow, there's someone worse than me at Cuphead." That's great. That's amazing.
Yeah, and anyone can get the job, right? Yeah,
Exactly.
it's like to help you, like you're looking for work. There you go. You can find someone in that area. I could do better job and get
I mean,
paid for it.
it's
Wow,
also
can't believe it.
IGN, no shade, but you know what it is, chat.
No, you can't spell ignorant without IGN, as they say it. Again, it's just more so of like, you taking care of people, and that's what I try and relay through my streams.
Yeah,
And I try and give someone a wonderful time. There might be a time where
exactly.
I want to talk about, some things that I'm going through, and I want them to know is that they're not alone on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the nice thing about being a bartender, true story, I'm not actually a real life bartender. I was inspired by my mom,
Mm-hmm.
and she used to do it for about 30, 40 years. And I love the atmosphere of it.
Yeah.
So
Oh
one of the
yeah.
inspirations to continue doing that is that. So I thought of one other person that I always looked up to in the terms of how they did in a VR space was Rebel. If you remember that one, Rebel,
Mm-hmm.
in VRChat, does a lot of like talk show hostings and stuff like that. Very well known, also Twitch partner.
Nice.
And I was like, this is really cool. But what I want to do is make it also into like not a talk show, but like a show from like Cheers.
Yeah.
Like the old show where
Yeah.
you go to a bar and you talk and you make it into a sitcom, and then it turns into that, but in a more natural live thing where you also have
Yeah.
topics you can discuss and stuff like that. And people have told me how much they love it, and sometimes there'll be moments where I might mess up and then it's a funny clip.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just
No, I love
really,
that.
really
I
cool.
do. I
And
love the vibe. I
mhm,
mean, bars, like I've always enjoyed going to bars, right? Like I like dancing, but I don't
mhm.
like the club environment, right? I'm like that
Yeah,
person that's
yeah.
dancing in the corner with three people in the bar. You know what I mean? Like we're just
It's
like,
like that
woo,
John
just
that
like,
John Cena. Remember that John Cena thing where he's like
yeah,
at
that's just
what was
us
it,
in the
Jimmy
corner.
Fallon? He's got the
Yeah.
headphones. Yeah,
That's just us in the corner.
basically.
We're not bothering nobody. We're not being obnoxious, but we're just jamming to the music. Like that's
That's
definitely
us
it.
in the corner.
But I really like the
Yeah.
like the it's just friendly. You get to talk. There's like no like forward pressure or force to talk to someone. You can talk to them in passing. You guys can talk more
Mhm.
in depth. Like I like that level of comfort to bars. And I
Yeah.
think that is very good here cuz like yeah, we have like bars, we have clubs, and I've only seen like club environments before I experienced the midnight bar. And I like them, but sometimes
Mhm.
it was like you couldn't find your friends because they were doing something in a private room, or you couldn't, that
Yeah.
sounded really sus, or you couldn't like you like
We all
go
know
and it's like
everyone. That's usually the way to
overwhelming,
go.
or it's too big, so you have to
Mm,
like go through like 20 different crowds of
yeah.
people just to try to find your one friend. And like the thing is like it's a
Yeah.
small, more intimate area, right? Like if there's
Yeah.
too many people, you could probably go to an instance with less people. If
Yeah.
if you feel like you want to interact with more people, go to an instance with more people. So it's you can make an
Mhm.
instance with your friends. Like it's just it really all depends on how you want to enjoy it, and that's one of the best
Right.
things about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fact too is back in the days, like if people that they're watching this or even watching this on the VOD is like back in the days of VR chat when you were at the hub,
Hmm.
right? A lot of people would just flock over there and chat and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and then it eventually went to like the Great Pug and the Black Cat, and we all know those how they go.
yeah,
Even though personally I always will love the Great Pug. The Great Pug now has been way more cozy. I realize you don't see
yeah.
a lot of people going there
It's not
more
as
than the
chaotic.
the Black Cat. It's not as chaotic. It still does, but not as much. But I love what they've done with it now. It's if you haven't seen it, you should go back to the Great Puck. It's very cozy. But like those types of places where, the chat in VR chat, the
Hmm.
whole thing about just trying to have conversation, trying to, bring up your social skills.
Hmm.
Maybe you have a lot of, social anxiety, and you really want to do something about it. Maybe it's going to help you with a job or an interview. Maybe that's the great thing about VRChat.
Hmm.
So having a bar like that where you can feel like you're a bartender, mind you, of course, being a bartender in the midnight bar is a night and day difference compared to, getting into mixology in real life. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But the social part is there. And once you do that, then it kind of can be put into a real life area of where you live. And again, it's something that I loved when people come to me and they'll say you've changed me, or you and J Melt has helped me, and build this courage I've never had before. And when I hear that, or I've had people tell me about my streams and saying you made me so happy, you've inspired me to start streaming myself. And I've actually helped a lot of people build their community and their streams, because I really I know how it feels like to struggle, especially with 9 million people in a streaming space now. How big it is now, more than anything ever since COVID
9 million
hit.
is crazy. I remember when it was like under 1 million like actual accounts that streamed. I remember when it was like 600K, and then when it was like 1 million, then 2 million, and then 9. That's crazy.
Yeah, and now we've got all these other places like YouTube Gaming. We've got, of course, there's Facebook. Facebook does have theirs. Twitter has theirs. There's so many different places that you can stream now. And it's great that Twitch has allowed you to multi-stream now. They don't care now. They just, you do your thing. As long as you're still going through most of the TOS that they provide, they're usually pretty lenient on some. It's just because, it's the company. I get it. But, like, to be able to hear that and to see so many others just feel happy, and that I can give someone like me, or like someone like you, where you're so, like, guys, the amount of times I have told Skulls, like, she's like amazing, and she is amazing, by the way. Like, if you haven't followed her, please do.
This isn't about me.
No, but as a whole, it's like I'm happy that I can give that happiness to it, because it's a breath of fresh air. And maybe you're having a 9-to-5 job and you're having a crappy day, and you just want to sit down and you want to watch me, or Skulls, or any other your favorite VTubers or streamers, right? And just have a nice thing to get away from it. Maybe you don't want to play a game and you just want to hear someone's voice. So to be able to do that is just, it makes me so happy. And that's my happiness too.
The impact,
man. The
that's
impact,
the most important part. Like, honestly, I've created content for a very long time. I've created content for 10 years now, over 10 years now. And I've been doing it full time and more focused for 4. But the thing is, I felt so lost with content creation. Like, I knew content creation, I knew entertainment was something that I enjoyed and wanted to do, but I felt so lost until I found something that I noticed made an impact. And for me, that was hosting events. That was, I still remember, big shout out to my friend C1. I don't know if you're watching. I don't know if someone can give C1 a shout out right now, but he actually got me into my first PSO2 event, right? So let's backtrack a few years before. I used to host like parties at my house. I used to be like the go-to person for my friend. They'll be like, hey, we're going to have a party. Can we have it at your house? I would kind of set everything up. Yeah. Not exactly. But whatever the edgy degenerate equivalent of that is. So... But we'd have parties. Sometimes my friends would have shows. Like, some of my friends were metal bands, some of my friends were rappers. They'd have shows and things like that, and they'd need an MC to introduce them. And I was always that go-to person, but I never thought of it past that. I just always like kind of being in the spotlight. I like entertaining. I like kind of being like a host in a sense. And it wasn't until I did my first Phantasy Star event that I heard people. Oh, thank you for the resub, by the way. I've heard people tell me things like, this was the first time I experienced this, and this was so amazing. Or I made a friend doing this. Or, like you said earlier, like I've been having a really rough time. And honestly, I watch your stream for like 30 minutes a day, and it makes me feel so good. Like, it makes me so happy. Like, it helps me like clear my head, or I have the confidence to stream. Like, a lot of my friends will tell you, like, a lot of them, even when I see them, they'll be like, hey, Skulls got me into streaming because I said I wanted to stream, and she said, just fucking do it. Yeah. And
with me, just did it.
And and helping people through that, man, because like I struggled for a long time. Of course, like I'm not saying this in any way of wanting a pity party. Oh, we got a raid. Chrono, thank you for the raid.
Hey.
Yo, thank you for the raid.
Cheers.
But basically, like, none of the things that I've gotten have ever been handed to me, right? I've always had to grind and go against the grain for every single thing that I have. And like, I see some people get discouraged. Like, I mean, that's kind of been what I've gone through for a long time in my life. So for me, it's just another thing I have to do. That's annoying and it's frustrating. And sometimes it's really, really demotivating, but I can get past it. And I see so many people quit because they can't get past that. So I love like being able to be like, here's that little extra push, keep going. You know what I mean? Because like there's times where I needed that, and I'm so glad I got past that and pushed myself. And I know how easy it is to feel like you want to give up at that point. And like, I hate seeing talented people quit. They love it, they're good at it, but they quit because they don't feel like they're making enough of an impact or enough progress or whatever is important to them.
Progress.
So, yeah. But that's why I love you. You got such a good spirit. You have such a good, like, kind energy, you know?
Oh, I mean, like I try to, you know, I felt the same way. Like even like the thing with being a partner is a big, you know, a struggle. Like I know some people that, you know, have been there for a long time and then been trying for a long time, and it's been like, you know, stopped or you try
Twitch.
and then eventually Twitch. Yeah, no, this girl has been busting her butt and she's been trying to get it for a while, but I'm trying to help her out a little bit and see what I can do to help out, because working on it. And believe me, no matter what, here's one thing I will say now, like I've told you, and I can tell anyone who's watching this: don't let that partnership thing, if you're an affiliate or you wanting to get that big check mark, whatever. I got the same part as you, where I'm just like, whatever. You know, I spent the money on the bar just to kind of like have what I wanted because it was fun. And then we added the stream feature where every time I go live, I actually forgot to mention this too, with the bar, is that every time I go live, every viewer or every person that's in the bar that's watching it counts as a viewer on Twitch. And so it adds up. So when I used to get like 20 to 30 people around there, 20 to 40, went up from 20 to 120. And there was concurrent people. And not only that, but it also brought people from the bar to come by in the chat and say, hey, I found your world, blah, blah, blah. And it was great because I want to take those types of people and I want to bring them to people like you, to people like other, you know, streamers that deserve it, that are so sweet and kind and help the community grow. And also, by the way, I'm a big fan of Sonic the Hedgehog too. So, I can go to all that. Yay, let's go. I actually got Sonic slippers over there, big honking Sonic slippers.
I know, I
so
saw
comfy,
pictures of them. They're so cute.
Yeah, they're so cute. I love them. My mom was just laughing about it, but I won't go too far off in the tangent. But I've seen so many people go through so much trying to be something, and then exactly, like they'll get way too into it, and then it's like a crash and burn.
Oh yeah.
And the average of any like VTuber or streamer is usually around like 4 years. Once you get to that 4-year mark, most of the people that used to stream quit.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And you know,
about like 3 or 4 years.
I'm still here.
That's why 5 years is such a big milestone. That's why people get so hyped, because it's I mean, 5 years and up, it's like, if you're still looking for your success, you are grinding still. And a lot of people don't stay that long with it. I think the coolest thing, and anyone else who's like kind of pushing towards other goals, what I started doing was kind of keeping all the cool things that I did. So I can be like, hey, even without assistance, I was able to do like this cool shit and that cool shit. And it helps. I did get like kind of caught up in the partner thing for a while before, and it is not where your main focus should be, right? Like, yes, if you see yourself getting close and you know ways you can make your stream grow and you have ways to push towards it, yes,
edging
push.
ever so close.
Yeah. But don't let it take you over. Don't let yourself like hyper focus on it too much, because it sometimes it just doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes you have the numbers and Twitch just says no. I mean, I've been there. I've
Yeah.
I've applied many times and I've been far over their requirements and they've told me no. And sometimes they've told me no without reason. Sometimes they've told me no because I don't know, sometimes just like
You
generic
know,
message,
getting
but
yeah,
mhm.
exactly, like a bot or something like that, right?
And like if you
Exactly.
let that get to your head, if you think about it in the way like it's only impacting you and your community, right? It's not really impacting them.
Yeah.
So if you put your community first, you put like your passion first, you can definitely make it past it. And I feel like honestly, like I feel
Yeah.
like for me it'll happen when it's supposed to happen. I know I
Yes.
have the right foundation, you know, my foundation set with brick. It is it is set there, it's
Yeah.
sturdy, you know, like we don't have a little
You
plant
got a
there
great
anymore. We
community.
have a tree. Yeah, we've had a community. It's been layers and layers of us for years and years. And yeah, like
Yeah.
I love my community. I love them more than anything. And like you guys know that. I tell you guys every stream that I love you guys lots. And I'm sure you guys want me to shut up about it. But yeah, no, like I mean, just like
The same
that.
thing with
Like
mine.
I've seen the other side of success, and like I don't know where I would be on those in those situations. Like I've seen some friends get the ideal dream where they pop off, they blow up
Mm,
immediately, and they get burnt out, they get discouraged, they end up hating what they're doing, and like that's not always the case,
mm.
right? But like I've seen it
Yeah.
happen, and sometimes like that scares me more than like having to grind because I have a little bit more
Yeah.
control of like if I'm actively doing this, you know, I don't know. I don't. That's just how I look at it. Like, yeah, I'm ready.
Mm.
I'm ready now. I'm ready. You know,
Yes. Yes.
I'm
And even
ready.
then,
But
I've
I
even
kind of
told you,
understand
like,
my
even
struggle, and like I feel like I've used it to build something amazing. So when we do get there, guys, like we're gonna pop the fuck off.
you take the
We're gonna be
negative
right
and you
behind
make it a
midnight.
positive, right?
We're gonna be right behind midnight.
Yeah, right back. And I am here supporting her all the way. Like I said, trying to get her connections, help her out. And even then, like you were mentioning too, there's people that have like so many, like hundreds of average viewers. Like they're
Mm-hmm.
going like 500 average, and they don't even have partner.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even have it,
Oh yeah,
right?
I have
And
quite
that's
a
just
few
how it is.
friends.
Twitch is very.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Twitch is very stingy about who they give the check mark to. It's not about the numbers. It's more so once they do, they're saying, why are they getting these numbers?
Mm-hmm.
What's making them grow into that number? Is it something that we should kind of be interested into their work now? Maybe we want to get them part of the team, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's the thing, but people don't see that. They're just saying it's a check mark. It's yeah, check mark. Yes, you
Yeah.
get more emotes. Like one of the biggest things was I just wanted more emotes. That's basically it because I was tired of not being able to give animated emotes to my tier 2 and tier 3s, right?
Yeah,
But only to my
exactly.
tier 1s, right? So I had to make an entire thing around tier 2, tier 3 so that they get something out of it because it's like $10 and $30. That's like such a spike up, right?
Yeah.
And the people that I know, they're just like, we do it because we want to. I'm like, I don't care if you want to. I want to give you
Yeah,
something as
you wanna make it
appreciation.
worth it. Yeah.
Exactly. So I do like one Thursday of the month. I will have one for tier 2s and tier 3s only so they can hang out with me and it gives them some sort of, love and appreciation into what they do. Because sometimes,
Yeah.
again, I want people to bring in their inner selfish a little bit. I want them to feel like they're important, they're willing to do that, but to give them that confidence. And I know
Yeah.
it's not all about the money. It's about the fact that they're willing to support the streamer. They're
Yeah.
willing to support what they do because they know for a fact that where that money is going in the right hands.
Yeah.
It's not getting a Lamborghini because believe me, if I'm going to get a car, I'm probably going to get like a DeLorean
I don't
and
even
have it
like
turn into a time
driving.
machine.
I feel like if I got a car, I get like a I don't know, something comfy
Like a
that
bike.
takes me from point A to point B.
Yeah, or just like biking, cycling, things like
Yeah.
that. It's healthy. It gets you to where you want to go. Like I just recently got an electric trike from
Hmm.
my community. They gave me an electric trike because I'm very bad at balancing myself. And with my condition, I need something where I don't have to worry about it. And to be
Yeah.
able to have a back end to a trike with, storage and stuff like that, it's fantastic, right? Yeah, it's $4,000. Yeah, they're not cheap, by the way.
Yeah.
But you can turn them into, I had ideas of turning it into like a rickshaw And for people who don't know what a rickshaw is, it's basically you can put a seat in the back of the trike. You can exchange the backside, take the basket, and make an entire seat with a buckle. And I thought of using that as a kind of like an ambulance kind of thing to get them, like if they're in the park and they need to get to the parking lot so that the ambulance can get over. Then I have the ability to drive them over and get them over to their, Yeah, or maybe there's like things like that. That's the thing. When I buy something, I want to know that do I buy it because it's just cool or do I buy it as a utility too, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to just get a figure. Now I'm at a point now, and you know how it is nowadays. Like when you get older, you buy a figure, right? And then you're just like, these are so cool, but I spent money on this just to sit there.
Yeah.
And literally do nothing.
I've been with teddy bears lately because I can justify teddy bears because I'm like, I can cuddle it at night. Yeah. But I'm the same way. I mean, I've also had to start over my collection quite a few times because of moving. So like after a while, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, do I buy that? Or I could also get this thing that I could use for streaming and also use for this and also use for that. That's the same price.
That's where Thrones is, right? That's where Throne comes in and helps out with that, right? Is that
That's
if
true.
the community is willing to do it.
My Throne is just stuffed animals. Right? It's stuffed animals and a few things that I need. So, like, if you guys want to buy me stuffed animals,
basically like,
let's go.
Throne. Go check her Throne. Yes, please do. Like I have things that are like, a printer, a label printer, and I'll have it to, because there's times where I've done signed merch for people. Like I have a Copic acrylic paint marker for people. If you want to know the best type of marker for posters is those silver acrylic paint markers because they're great and they dry up and that. So,
I always use like a silver
Sharpie. Course,
or something like silver.
Yeah, I mean, most of the general thing, like, right, you'd probably use a silver Sharpie from the usual stuff, but, like, if you want something with a little bit more pop and it will stay there, you just use an acrylic, you give it a little bit of time, like, you can use a blow dryer, but the best thing to do is just wait, like, an hour and let it just sit there. And then once it's gone, I just throw it in, and then I usually go on my computer, that's right there, and then I'll go and print out something in Photoshop and then use paper. And I'm like, you know what? I think I should get a labeler and just make it easier for me. So I put it on my Throne. It just got like $75 towards it.
Nice.
There's only like $40 left. I mean, I'm probably just going to pay it off the rest of myself. And those types of things that you would have as household items. I mean, I do have the big DeLorean Hot Toys thing. It's like a one crazy scale. It's like half the size of this desk. And it's like $2,000 for the thing, so it's a want, right? Yeah. It's like like a price of a TV.
No, but it makes sense. I used to collect model cars when I was a kid. I'm not gonna go too far on this tangent, so I know that they're expensive.
Yeah, of course.
I used to really like the ones that were like Dub City, and they were like model like decked out cars, and they were like everything was 1-to-1, and they were so freaking expensive.
Are you okay? I'm gonna call you out on this. Are you into exotics, muscle? Are you into Are you into like import?
I used to be more into like muscle cars when I was younger. I used to be more into muscle cars.
Okay.
But like the car that I want was so weird. I wanted like was it a 64 Chevy Impala that was like lifted and had like a really nice interior. And like the black iridescent exterior.
Oh my God! I know my grandfather had a Pontiac GTO.
Ooh.
And it was the Judge variant, which is very hard to find, by the way. But my car was that I always wanted, minus the DeLorean, of course, because I love the movie. Is a 1970 Challenger 446 pack.
Yeah,
that was put into Driver San Francisco. If anyone's played that game, that I would love that car ever since. Vanishing Point is another great movie with the Challenger, also a 70. But like I was raised on that with my dad. He showed me movies like Bullet with Steve McQueen with the 68 Fastback. Again, Vanishing Point with the 70 Challenger. And so it's those things where I also like taking that with my viewership, the people that love that kind of stuff, and share it with others.
Yeah,
and then they get into that conversation. It just builds up a whole different section of my Discord or and then people have their own little place again where we all can get together and enjoy a little bit of something without feeling like you're getting ridiculed because you like that.
Exactly.
Who cares,
And that's why I like
right?
sharing every part of
Yeah.
myself, everything that I like. I mean, we were talking about earlier how sometimes it sounds like I'm capping because like everything I'm like, oh yeah, I like that. I've seen that. I've done that. I've like, because I just like so many things. I have a lot of
Yeah.
interest and I don't do anything half-assed. So if I even like something slightly, I at least do a full week of like researching and hyper focusing on it. And then I'm like, now I know everything about this thing. And then I move on to the next one. But
Right.
yeah, it's just I love
I saw
sharing that,
Wolf was
like the
saying that
good, the
she-
bad, the ugly, everything. What was
I
happening?
saw that I forgot the Impala, so you like Supernatural? You
Yes.
like the TV series Supernatural? Okay. So
I feel so called out.
So I don't know I don't know if you know this, but I found out that the boys
Mhm.
and the two guys from Supernatural might be working together.
Oh,
don't know if you-
I heard something about like the Oh my god, I saw something about it yesterday. I forgot what I even read. But it had to
Yep,
do with like
yep.
something like that. And I was like, I heard like some of the Supernatural people are going to be involved with the Buffy revival, which I might actually die.
Oh.
Yeah. Like
my
they're
God,
actually
Buffy the
doing a
Vampire
revival. And
Slayer?
like Sarah
Jeez.
Michelle Gellar has been like, no. They've
Yes.
been like, let's do a new one. And she's like, no, do not touch my series. It is good the way it is. So for her to say, all right, this is what the fans would actually want. Like they actually are pushing this idea out. I'm so excited for it. That was 20 years.
Yeah.
Has it been like, it's been like 20 years since Buffy's been on of her saying no. And she could have
Jeez.
so cash grabbed the fuck out of Buffy.
Making us feel old.
She
We
could
really
have
are
had my
feeling old
entire
for ourselves.
wallet. Oh God, yeah, I don't want to talk about that
there's
anymore.
so
20
many.
years? I mean, I wasn't even born. Yes, I was.
I mean, I was born 87. So for people who don't know, I'm turning 38 in April. I have been there when they had like, oh my God, Tailspin, the old Disney's Gargoyles, freaking all the old movies like Treasure Planet and Titan AE or friggin' Disney's Atlantis, one of my favorite movies next to, of course, Iron Giant and stuff like that. But it was the reason why I like those was because of the art design.
Yeah.
The way that they make those types of things. And recently, actually, funny enough, I actually bumped into an artist named Baby No Money, or Baby No with a dollar. Great artist, love him. Actually from British Columbia, didn't even know he was Canadian.
Wait, like you met him?
No.
Oh, I was like, you can't just casually, just ran into him.
No. I mean,
Okay, I was like, hold on.
He had someone he hired that was an artist that did some of the music video in that type of art style, like the Iron Giant in that sketch. And I'm like, and he was just like, holy crap. His face, I love. Okay, I don't want to go on another tangent, but I gotta say this. I love how much he's with his community and how much he's so in tune with them. And he always hires the artists that he loves, and he sees them, or he'll cosplay as Hatsune Miku, which he did.
Yes,
He
I
had
saw
Iron
that. I
Mouse
saw
there,
him,
and which
Jessica
is great too.
Negri, and like I forgot who else.
Yeah.
It was someone else there, and then Mousy
was
via
there
digital.
too. Mousy, yeah. And again, congratulations on meeting Mousy, which was amazing. That was very, very cool.
Oh my God, I almost lost
like,
my mind. I
know,
lost
showed
my
friends that,
entire
and they're
cool.
like, "Aw."
I lost all of this level of coolness. It just went poof. I don't know what happened.
And the thing is, too, is that, like, she was so worried that she was like, did I ask her if I could have had her?
I know.
Even though it clearly
She was
wasn't.
like, do you think she felt pressure?
And it was so cute.
And literally me sitting in
She
front of
was
the stream, I'm
nervous.
like, no, you touched my head. Like, I should be like, oh my God, does she feel pressure to put her hand near me? Like, no, but I respect that, though. I like that she has respect. That kind of like speaks to her ego. You know what I mean? Because some people are like, oh, well, they should be like honored that I'm there. Like it's a fan, like that. Like she actually is like, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. And I felt the same way too. Like I didn't want her to feel like. My biggest thing is like I was worried I left a really bad impression because I don't want her to think I just like ran up on her like, hi, Mousy, like. It really was just like.
I mean, it's really hard not to feel that.
Yeah, and I'm like, how else was I supposed to go about that, right? Not see her when I was that close. And acknowledge, or I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I love Zen very much. She is a big inspiration of being able to say you don't have to talk to be popular. You can
Hmm.
do all these amazing things and still be able to do it. And that type of love and appreciation, I adore. I mean, there's people like also like Post Malone. Post
Hmm.
Malone is a down to earth guy. He actually talks to someone randomly on the street. He's like, "How are you, sir? Hope you're doing well."
Or
Like he shakes their
like
hand.
Keanu Reeves.
Ken Reeves. I was gonna say Keanu
I
Reeves.
love
Like
Keanu
people
Reeves so
like that.
much.
Yeah, or people like Jim Carrey, Jim Carrey is a great guy, or
Yeah.
you got like so many people that work so hard that have been doing this for a while, and that's who I want to try and be, is not let, that type of fame get to me, right?
Yeah.
And always make you guys feel
I'm
like,
not worried about it.
you're important.
I'm not worried about it.
I
I don't
always
feel
do
like
because I
it.
don't want to be. I've been there. I've
Yeah.
been there before. I've actually had that feeling of ego trip because I
Hmm.
didn't know I was getting all this money and all this attention. And then I had my friends say, "Hey, bring it down a bit." And then realizes that what you're doing is people what they don't like. Like my friends understood that I wasn't trying to go up. It just happened
Yeah.
because I was bullied when I was younger. I didn't have really much of anyone. So
Yeah.
when I had this kind of attention, it was new to me. At the age of literally 34, I'm like, or 33, I'm like, what the heck's going on?
Hmm. That's kind of how I
And
felt like my
so
second year of
having,
streaming. Because I told you about that, like how I worked at game store. So I was like one of like the top Xbox players or like top Xbox streamers whenever
mhm,
I was live. And I feel like it's
yeah,
like if you don't, you're not used to it, it is just natural to kind of build an ego, right? Because you're like, oh, cool, like because you
right,
you you ultimately when you do things like that, there's a part of you that even if you don't believe in yourself, believes in you, right? So when you
yeah,
actually
yeah,
get validation in that, there's something that kind of erupts in your brain, but you just have to like learn how to pull it back. You have to have the right people around you too, like how you said your friends. Like, I mean, yeah, I know you're gonna go more into that, but like you have to have the right people around you. You just have to have the right situation,
yeah,
or you could be drastic and just go for ego death. But that's a whole
yeah,
layered
yeah, and
situation. I
it
don't think we can
happens.
discuss.
Yeah. Yeah, that believe in me who believes in you. For
Hmm.
anyone who knows that reference, they'll probably know exactly what song I'm talking about. But I completely agree. It's
Yeah.
very difficult to not get lost in that, right? Get
Hmm.
lost in the fame and not have the friends that you have that can just tell you, hey, gotta stop for a second, put on the brakes a little bit, see where you're
Yeah.
going. Because if you go too far, this might happen, right? And if you can get caught on that early, then you're going to be able to stop and realize. And it's also why I do a lot of charities because it gives me the ability to
Like pull
be
it
more
back.
down to earth and
Yeah.
not be selfish, because I as much as I get a lot of money, I do get quite a bit. I live comfortably. I can safe to say with the amount of money I get every month is basically a part-time, full-time job.
Yeah.
And that's the dream of any streamer, right?
Oh yeah.
But being on doing streams and stuff like that, just alone through the amount of subs, bits, tips, it's like I that is what makes me think they are giving me the ability to do this. Let me take advantage of this and put that in towards charities
Yeah, exactly.
and
Like help
do it
someone
that way,
else
right?
who's
And
unfortunate too.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I've got a lot of Army guys, a lot of people from the Navy, from the United States, like Army. Thank you for your service. And people from, CAF, with Canadian Armed Forces. And it's also built a lot of my community through. Because funny too, because a lot of the military guys go to bars anyways, and they
Mm-hmm.
hang out and stuff like that. So it kind of attunes, and I've just brought a lot of the military boys and women in. And it's great though because then we all are together. We're all fighting for the same cause of being working for what we're doing for our country or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Working for a friend or a family or someone who's in need, children, whatever. It's what makes us, strong, especially with what goes on in the world. We
Exactly.
are the people that, we're entertainers. We want to make sure that you guys are having a fun time.
Exactly.
And if we can take the community in to do these charities, great.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, bring it on.
It's another way to
Right?
bring attention to something that, we can express to you guys that we find important. And, helping
Yeah.
others.
Yeah.
You guys help us, but we're not the only people in the world, you know what I mean? So like we
Oh,
can
of
do our
course.
part to
Of
help
course.
others.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
100%.
see. All right. So it's getting a little bit late, but let's see. What is the last
This
thing?
is what happens. We were worried about.
No,
we were
no,
worried about
no.
because we were talking about this.
It's fine.
And
It's
we-
fine. I'm trying to do that whole like time management thing I hear people do nowadays. It's, when they manage their time.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of insane, actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I could do that too. I can literally go like that and look at my time with my glasses. I threw that in there as a kind of a cool idea because I've always seen some of my friends. I'm like, oh, it's that time. But,
like the thing, the wrist thing. I don't wear a watch IRL, but I'm in VRChat so much nowadays that I like check the time. So I go to check the time and I just.
Oh,
so I think I'm gonna get a watch now because I'm so used to doing it.
Yeah. And it's great fashion. Like, I mean, I have an Apple Watch. I have that. It's great too. Because I'm not going to go to my wallet. Sometimes I might be grabbing something, a snack or whatever. I'm just using my watch and I use the NFC, the NF reader on it. And go, and then there you go. I didn't have to do anything. But funny enough, me and Skulls were actually talking about this the first time like we ever do a podcast or something, either you or me.
Yeah.
And that we would talk for
it would be like 12 hours.
And we're like, oh no. Yeah, because we were talking in a VCat world when we were doing the VCat World Top, and we were talking for like a whole hour and we didn't even know what was going on.
Oh, was that the first time we met?
Yeah.
The first time we met, we talked so freaking long, like immediately, like we just went from high to us just yapping, like we were just vibing. Yeah.
Could have gone the whole day if we wanted to.
That's literally how I meet like my closest friends. Oh my goodness. Though. That's how I meet my closest friends. Yeah. It's like I don't know what it is. It's like that energy just immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's fantastic when you do get that bond. With people, and the people that are understandable. Yeah, but you also know it's like if they can't see you all the time and maybe you haven't seen them in, let's say a year, it's just sad to see them go, but at least you're happy that it happened, right? And not only that, but just like, that you'll always welcome them with open arms and the door's always open. When you have that type of person, it's so wonderful.
That's how I am though. Sometimes I'll just disappear.
Same.
And I like having friends who they'll check on me. Yeah, they'll yell at me when I come back. Like, bitch, where have you been? But like, I like having friends who are just like, I get it. Like, we're still homies. We're still close. Like, I think the thing that stresses me out the most is like when I'm in a friend group or something. And like, people are like, do you hate me because I don't talk to them for one day? And I'm like, I really can't, like, I can't handle that part of it. You know what I mean? Like, I always tell people, I'm like, if I don't want to be around you, trust me, I will, it won't be like you're questioning me,
I can definitely tell, like, when that one moment when you were kind of like in a feel like a depression period, and you were like, I could tell that's why I messaged you. I'm like, are you doing okay? And I could tell.
Yeah, and I don't mind that.
Because when we got that energy together, I try to anyways. I try my best to, say hello to people and like
exactly.
Because it's important, right? But the thing is that people have to understand is that we're internet people. That's what we are. We can be friends, but the only true way of being a friend is if you do go and see them. Like you go IRL and you find them, right? It's easy to just slap the word friend on and not realize that.
See, I'm so different.
If you were to go,
I think that's why I get like friend heartbroken, because like I literally like don't really do anything IRL that much anymore. I want to kind of get back into it, but I don't know, just paranoia, things like that. So like my closest connections are like people I meet online, and I realize like there's like, I don't know, everyone looks at it different. Like when I did go out a lot more, I looked at it differently too. So, but it's just, I don't know, it's just that one thing. That's why I'm like, oh, I thought we were best friends, and then people are like, I mean, we're cool, but like we don't know each other. I'm like, we talk every day. What do you mean? It's just, I don't know.
But you truly don't know them enough because you haven't been there, right? And that's why a lot of people, when like, I thought you were my friend and stuff like that, all my friends are internet people. If I see you, they're important to me, yes.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if I don't see you, for a very long time. Also, by the way, you got a raid.
Yo, Sonic, thank you for the raid. Thank you.
Hey, good to see
ya. Nearing the end of our talk show, but we're still talking here. But yeah, thank you for raiding. Thank you for everyone who followed and everything too. I know we have notifications kind of like on the DL right now, but I do appreciate all the support you guys are showing to the stream. And yeah, I'll make sure to show you guys some love towards the end too. But
thank you. Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I'm supposed to talk?
Oh no. Okay, I was just gonna say is the thing is that I would try to tell people is that don't ever think is that if someone were just to disappear, a lot of the times it's just God forbid something happened, internet
Yeah.
died, they couldn't like contact you. It's very easy to get lost in that. And especially like I know there's a lot of people out there, especially in the chat that I see, that I know is that I have given them a lot of happiness and stuff, and I know their hearts would be absolutely destroyed if I'm gone, right?
Yeah.
And it's one thing I will say is that I'll always be back in some form, and if I'm not, just know I really appreciate everyone that I was able to, see in my life, and I appreciate them from the bottom of my heart. And if there is one day where I get to meet them in IRL and we get to be there, then awesome. But always, always try to balance your internet life with IRL life. And even if you might not have anyone, try and reconnect to the people that you might know. And I know Facebook sucks, but a lot of the people that you know that are from like family or stuff, go to them, go back. If you still got an account, go say hi to maybe a friend that you used to work that you really, appreciated, and go and balance that, because if you don't, then it gets so depressing. It really does feel that way. And I've learned that throughout the times of the internet era. And I was blessed half of my life to not have the ability to have the internet, because we had Fisher Price freaking cassette player recorder, and going out and seeing my neighbors and chatting with them and stuff. And again, working in retail and learning, how to socialize through that. I always try and do that through my streams and tell people do that for yourself, because I might not be there.
Yeah.
I might be too busy, or I might just disappear and you don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't want people to think I hate you, because that's not the case. It's just something happened, and I have to prioritize that over my internet friends. It's just how it is. And I can understand if you have to do the same thing. There's no harm, no foul. I don't hate you, despise you. I don't. Because how is that fair to me?
Yeah.
Right? But all I can say is that, like, just love yourself. Do what you need to do to help you, and always know there always are people out there that'll help. And even then, like, people always wonder and ask me, how do you keep moving? How are you able to, like, meet someone and then just have them hanging out for a while and then you go on the next person? It's because it's just how the way of survivability is on the internet. People come and go all the time, and you just have to accept it. As much as you might not like it, this is why internet, like, our IRL friends are super important in that regard. And if you're able to do that, then the internet's just gonna, be there as a side thing. But
that's fair.
Hey, listen,
I look at that so differently.
I love you.
So I will.
I know, because
I look at it so differently, because like 90% of my life is online, right? Like I don't communicate with my family. I don't really have friends IRL other than like my internet friends that I talk to. I think ultimately the thing is, like, it just depends on what makes you comfortable, right? If you're online all the time, but you feel unhappy all the time, you definitely need to change something. You need to do things. Like for me, I feel much better being like 95% online than like how I felt like putting my online life in the back burner. But also, like, I'm a little bit younger than you, like not a lot, but a little bit.
Not much.
And I wouldn't say I was terminally online from like pre-teenage, but I lived really far away from everyone. So I always found like my friends, my comfort online. And I mean, even some of those people like I'm friends with to this day, or some, like one of my only IRL friendships, it's because we reconnected online. So ultimately, I don't know. It really depends, like it's, as long as you're not being super parasocial, because like we all do look at our relationships very differently, and I've noticed that like some people may, meet someone online once, and then, to this one person, you guys are super close friends. This other person, you're someone they met in passing. So you just always have to think about you and like how those relationships feel to you. And but
and it's even like with like your community,
really
right?
different.
Like when you and it's also difficult too, because when you become famous, right? There's people out there that want to be your friend, and you can't do that. You have to balance the people that you know compared to the people that watch you.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And it's tough because I wish I could, be friends with literally everyone and my friends, and I try to.
I
I
would
still
lose
do
my
because I'm
mind.
able to move and
I would lose my mind even
yeah.
now. Like I love my community. You guys are my family. You guys are like my friends, my closest friends. But if you think about like intimate friendships and imagine like individually like yapping to each other every day, like imagine having to keep up with that. You know what I mean? So like from our perspective, that's on like a
Yeah.
much larger scale. And then like imagine if we had like hundreds, thousands of people watching us. You know what I mean? Like that's literally
yeah.
impossible.
How can you be all their friends? Right?
But yeah, I mean, but
You
that
can
is a
only
good
have,
way
I
to
think,
have that
minimally.
line is like with IRL too. So I definitely like there's some of my friends
Yeah.
I've been wanting to meet IRL for years, and maybe that will also like I like at conventions and things like
Maybe
that.
it's time. Maybe it's like
Maybe
kind
it's
of like get
time.
yourself to say, you know what? Yeah, because you got to think about it in a way. You wake up, maybe you're having a cup of coffee, maybe you're having your breakfast, and you're like thinking, I should probably do something different. Maybe
Yeah.
like I said, cons. Last one I went to was Fan Expo, and during the summer, fantastic. I actually got to meet with, her name is Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
She does a lot of art and stuff like that, and she was actually a good friend of mine
Ooh.
for about 15 years.
Ocean is such a pretty
15
name.
years. Yeah, and she's done all these really cool pop arts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She's got like tens of thousands of followers. She's actually very famous now.
Nice.
And she has her own apparel, like line apparel. She's got like strawberry like bag, like a cute little
Oh my
strawberry
god,
bag.
that is literally my dream. I want like my
yes.
own like line of like
brand
like of like
branding,
outfits and stuff like that. Like
fashion design stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparel.
like beyond
Yeah,
just like
I mean,
merch.
like,
You know what I mean?
yeah, and that's the thing too, is that eventually that maybe they want to do something like that. Like look at some celebrities; they have alcohol. Like Ryan Reynolds has Aviation Gin that he actually ended up working with. All these other
Yeah.
ones. And
I always look at
something you
Rihanna,
just
like
want to try.
Rihanna with Fenty and like Savage X Fenty.
Yeah.
Like she has her own makeup line, she has her own fashion line. I mean, but
Yeah.
like that's
I
also
mean,
the
Bob,
crazy
Bob
scale,
Ross,
though.
God rest his soul, like with his
Yeah.
painting stuff, his brand that he had before he passed away. I mean, there's things that you just, if you have a brand, if you have a name for yourself and you want to show your community how much you love that, then sell it, the brand that you are always using
Exactly.
on for yourself. Maybe it's your own, maybe it's something that used with a company and that you want to show, all those types of
Yeah,
things,
chat.
and
That
you
is
got that.
something I've mentioned quite a few times here, and to those of you who are here, that is like 101 with sponsorships. I
Yep.
have felt so at peace. I've never really had to think about it when it comes to sponsors. I remember starting off, sometimes you might take something that you're not really that into, and unless you're a salesperson, that's not really going to work for you. Like all of my sponsors are something I either use or I wanted to use, and then they reached out to me, and then now I can use their product and also present it, So
Yeah,
like voice
yeah,
mod. I mean,
yeah.
I used voice mod for years, like since they were really small, before they even had that like kind of program and things like that, or like Rogue Energy. I drink Rogue Energy, so that's perfect, So yeah, I mean, yeah, if you don't like, if you are like presenting or selling stuff, whether it's merch or you're, selling through a sponsor or something like that, like, yeah, always make sure it's something that you're happy with and you're proud of. It makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
Because like you don't have to give a reason. You can just be like, hey, this is truly why I like this. You don't have to be like, this is da 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 da, and like pitch to people, because
Raid Shadow Legends. Sorry, I have to make that joke because it's always like in. I mean, sometimes you got to make the money to I mean, there's people that will understand. Like you bring up the the PSA saying, hey, listen, I've got to make money. I hope you understand. This is where I'm going with. And as long as you tell that to your community and you're willing to do that, that's already being honest with them. Like you're being transparent with what you're.
And as long as
in.
you have a balance too, like it is a business still. As much as we love it and we chill and it's comfy and more intimate, and it doesn't have to be super serious. Like it's still like our business. It's still our career. So there are some parts of it that will have to be related to money.
Shoot,
and if we can get it on an outside source, like a sponsor, that's even better. That's even better,
shoot, or even like people like that. Like I've always my dream sponsor has always been like two companies. It was LG or Samsung.
Yeah.
Those are like the two big ones, right? Because I always buy LG stuff and Samsung stuff.
Yeah.
All my monitors are LG. I have a super
That's
ultra
me
wide
with
from
the
LG.
Razer. I'm like, please, Razer, one day.
Yeah,
One day.
I've got a Razer Cobra Pro, the tiny one, the wireless, because my hands are so tiny. And
Hmm.
they have like the other ones, like the Black Widow or whatever it is, the
Hmm.
most popular ones, right?
Yeah, I use the Black
And they're just too
Widow.
big.
Hmm.
Yeah, but it's just so big, and I rather have something that's small, and I like the ability to be wireless and to be, also wired. Because
Yeah.
sometimes maybe I just want to charge it, and then once I'm done, I unhook it, and there you go, right? And Razer has been, pretty good on their stuff. I usually go back onto it. Most of my headsets are usually either HyperX or
Hmm.
a Steel Series. I'm currently on the Arctis Pro, which is amazing. I
Ooh,
do
Steel Series.
like it a lot.
Yeah. I hear good things about it.
So
I've
I do
never
like trying
actually
different.
tried Steel Series.
Yeah, they're good. I've used them for a long time. The Arctis is very good. But if I had a brand that I would love to work with in terms of gaming, it's HyperX. Like easily.
Nice.
Their wireless headset has like 300 hours of battery life on that thing. I didn't have to
Um,
charge it for 2 weeks.
so have you applied?
No.
Because you could definitely get a HyperX sponsorship.
I'm probably thinking about that. I mean, I do like their stuff. I do have a Audio Technica for a
Yeah.
microphone. I like trying different brands. I don't like
Hmm.
to stay with one brand all the time. It's the same with like I want to work with AMD,
Yeah.
or I maybe want to work with Nvidia or whatever. But there's a lot of stuff that I would love to work with and stuff like that. And if they're able, sure,
Mhm.
I'd love to trying different ones. But if
Yeah.
I had to, definitely like LG, HyperX, Samsung, those are like the
Yeah.
dream. But if I had to pick
You
one, if I
you
had a gun to
gotta
my
you
head and I had
gotta
to pick one, LG.
all right, I don't give homework on a talk show normally. My homework is you at least like reaching out via email to get information because I know you can have some of those. And if not, you're probably really close.
I, I don't like. Here's the funny thing about me is, as much as I have all these brands, because I've always been a salesperson.
Hmm.
I just don't like forcing things down people's throats because I feel like there's a
Yeah.
certain thing that you have to do or put it on the screen for a certain amount of time, or you have to put it
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
I don't want to do that,
You can always
right?
get
And I'm
more
already
info
doing
though. That's always the
fantastic.
good thing about like
Yeah, of
inquiries. You can
course.
always be like, what's the requirements? And some people may be like, just have a panel on your Twitch profile and that's it. Or just have some
Yeah,
people want you to have it on your screen and have it rotating and like sometimes like I don't take pushy sponsorships like that either. If it's like a short
yeah,
campaign,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
one thing I can explain like, hey chat, we're doing this for a week. It's gonna be a little intense, but we're doing it for a week. But like permanent sponsors,
yeah,
those ones, those big ones like the HyperX and things like that. Like as long as they're not like extremely pushy, then yeah.
yes.
But that's
When
good
it's
that
like
you already
very
have those
prejudice
standards though,
practice.
because like I'm sure with you recently getting partnered and you're continuously growing, you're gonna have people reach out to you. And like there's a
Yeah.
thing. I mean, I again again we will wrap this up soon, but here's the thing, like a lot of people don't share some of these really, really like crucial things when you hit certain points with your career in the industry because like it's not
Yeah.
something you casually talk about all the time. And one thing is definitely
Right.
like with sponsors, like understanding your boundaries is the first thing. And it might sound like the easiest one, but sometimes the money is easier to deal with than the boundaries. Because like you're like, oh,
Yeah.
like a part of you doesn't want to pass up an opportunity, but whatever you feel comfortable with is going to work best for you. Because if you present it in a way that you're
Yeah.
not comfy with or doesn't vibe with your community, it doesn't matter that you took that sponsorship. No one's gonna get
Yeah.
it. No one's going to feel like they should or feel like you're really,
Yeah. Yeah.
happy with it. But
I,
but
I,
yeah, I try to
I mean,
pick the less intrusive ones because I always tell people I'm like, if you want to this, or if they ask about it, I'm like, oh hey, let me give you some info on this. But I hate being like, buy this. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, it's like with me with Poggers because I do have a
Hmm.
sponsor with Poggers. They're an energy drink kind of style too,
Yeah,
and they got stuff. I
poggers.
don't have anything from that. I've been wanting to do more with them, but the thing
Hmm.
is that I don't drink a lot of energy stuff because of my thing. But I don't mind. I've had a lot of people tell me it's a really good brand. They've drinking it before.
Hmm.
I love. I'll be honest with you. I love the Pepe, like the like the how cute they drew the characters on it. It's
Yeah,
really cute. And they were my first sponsor. They came to me and like, hey, we'd like to work with you, and if you don't mind,
nice.
like putting through. I'm like, sure. So I put it down in my credit stuff, and I actually already have one or two people that actually really want to,
Yeah,
get some. And I said, here, code Midnight's in VH for 10% off your. You know how it is with those things. I'm not trying to selfless plug on that.
yeah.
But it's one of the things that's like you gotta make a bag. You gotta make your money so
Hmm.
that you can pay for your home. Maybe you need a new car and something, breaking down, you need something new.
Yeah.
Those when those opportunities arise, then you want to do it. And like you mentioned, like now that I'm partner, I get a lot more eyes on me now and a
Hmm.
lot more exclusive deals. Like I've also noticed a lot of stuff recently.
Hmm.
Twitch has partnered with Stream Elements to
Oh yeah,
combine
yeah, they
into
have,
a
yeah. I think they're doing the
the
bounty board
partnership.
again too. The bounty board is really good. They used to have it available for just like, I don't, it wasn't specifically for, it was like partners or affiliates, and it was just like, you know how they roll out things for just like specific profiles. So I was in the bounty
Yeah.
program for about a year, and it was really good
Mhm.
because like the thing is like everything's right there, you know? Like another thing people don't talk to you about is the finances, and I'm not a finance person, so I'm not going to talk to you about it here, but
Same.
definitely something you should
I'm
look
terrible writing my
into.
taxes.
And for us, it's good because like you can have those sponsorships from Stream Elements, and you're getting paid through Twitch. Everything's through one place. It's easy to keep track of
It
because when
was
you do have multiple
so much
sponsorships,
better.
it's like I got a $50 check from here, and then I got like a this dollar check from here, and then this place sent me this much, and I made
Exactly.
this much last year on, and it just one centralized place is nice, and like yeah.
Yeah.
And then that gives the
Yeah.
Stream Elements gives
That's
the opportunity for other companies to filter in, so it's not just like Twitch controlling everything.
exactly.
Too.
And they're seeing how good you are and how much you've maintained your community
Yeah,
and what the good
exactly.
vibes that you get, that you just end up,
They look at it a
now
little
getting
more
more
intimately
sponsors
than
and
just okay, this person had this
mhm.
many people watching and sold this amount. Like it's a little bit
Yeah,
more
and
than
then
that.
they
Like
also trust you. If they trust you, then the brand's going to say, well, your community is trusting you a lot, so they know if you go take this brand, they're
mhm.
going to trust that brand too. That's the whole mentality through it. And me being a salesperson, I'm not going to sell a brand if I don't believe in that said brand. If I don't like,
Yeah.
I do not want my manager to come to me and say, sell these because they're clearance now. We don't
Yeah.
want them in the store anymore. We want them gone because you know how it is. Like after a while, they'll start having a little section of the store, and it's just clearance stuff. But I'm not gonna give that to someone if I think it's crap. If I believe in the product and I know I've been using it enough, then I want to actually reach out and say, hey, I like
Yeah.
your brand. I wanna show and I wanna support the people that come to me and watch my stuff to go check out your products.
Sorry.
So yeah, maybe HyperX. Maybe I might go into HyperX and see. I mean, I've
Yeah.
had
You can
things with
always
like
look.
Sega,
Some
working with
places usually
Sega, working
have
with
a
Nintendo.
some places usually have on their website, especially like brands like that that work with a lot of creators, somewhere that kind of shows
Yeah,
you the guideline of what they're looking for, what they expect, and what they expect from you. Um, and
right.
honestly, if
Yeah,
no one's if there's a place not willing to give you that information, that's usually my biggest red flag. Like I people hit me up
yeah,
because I've done this for so long. I've worked with over like 100 brands and sponsors in the time that I've done this. People hit me up all the time with sponsorship things, and like I asked for more information, but they said like they won't give me more information about this or like, and I'm like, nope. I'm like, for me, that's a no. You might want to dig and do some research, but in my like experience, that's usually a like a big no. Like if it's like
mm-hmm,
things behind an
mm-hmm,
NDA, that's one thing. We're not going to get into all that, but if it's basic information,
yeah,
like they should be willing to give it to you, and like so you have a
yeah.
clear understanding.
Yeah, exactly. And, eventually when those times come, and who knows, I might end up getting HyperX. I don't know. I'm just happy where I am and where I have and the ability to buy these things
I can't wait to
because they're
tell you I
expensive.
told you
Right?
so when you have a HyperX sponsorship. Guys, clip
I'm
this
gonna tell
moment.
you to shut up. Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, like, I guess we're gonna have a
When you're
clip
gonna
then,
get
and
it,
then you
I'm
can
just gonna
say,
be like,
"Hey, midnight. Hey, look, remember this? Yeah,
boop.
shut up."
Remember
I'm
this?
yeah, and if it does, cool. And that's one thing
Yeah.
that is again, when that time comes, when we get to that road, might as well take it
Yep.
and then use that money to build up some more cool stuff. And maybe I can also do a lot more in paying my mods because that's what I also want to do. I want to do like what Zen does and pay my mods and give them at least a certain amount.
Yeah.
But I know I'm not gonna
God,
like
I wish
empty
I could pay
myself
my
out and not have
mods.
enough for me. Yeah, like I mean,
That
pay
is definitely the
it's
goal.
when you're working really hard. Exactly, exactly. Now I know there's gonna be like a little bit of time. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about? Because I probably that's how I yap. It's
Honestly,
like
you kind of covered, like, we just kind of naturally talked about most things I wanted to talk about. The last thing is the question I always end off on. So do you have any big projects or any like big content ideas that you're working on right now that you'd like to share or like bring awareness to?
Actually, funny you mentioned that is that I just had a big release of my bar, a Galaxy bar in Warudo. And I actually showed that off a couple of times.
Yep.
And there's actually going to be more updates to it. There's going to be some cool animations. Of course, this doesn't come cheap. But I have my amazing friends over at Mofu Workshop, Kana Fuyuko, who does a lot of my my Warudo stuff. I got, of course, Mare that does my model stuff for what's potentially coming up next is a combat maid and a bikini outfit. That is coming up really soon. So I've already shown off concept designs of that. And of course, again, the Midnight Bar's second anniversary is coming, so I might
Woo!
just do a little kind of fun party with that too. And as long as you're part of the group, then you can join off of there. If you actually do need any idea, it's just basically Galaxy, the one actually that Skulls is now a part of my group.
Yep.
Down below in her bio.
Yep. If you guys look underneath the
GAL4XY.
title, there it should show my name, my follower count, and then it shows like a stream team.
Yeah, and if you need the group name here in VRChat, it should be that, and then without the dash and 2332. You can find that also in my Discord, which is discord.gg/MIV if you need more information on that. And yeah, pretty much whatever comes the one thing I do is I usually just when it comes in I get so excited and I can't hold my excitement and I just show it off because it's just I can't do that to my
I'm literally going
my
through this
friends
right
and my
now.
homies.
I'm struggling right now with the updates I'm getting. Like I'm cooking right now and I'm like, I just want to like show everyone. I just want to like make a Google Drive and just be like, here's everything. But like it's so hard. It's so hard. I think the last time I had to do that was my debut last year. 7 months, bro. 7 freaking months was the hardest. I don't think I'll ever have that level of patience again.
Imagine Tom Holland when he actually accidentally started leaking some of like his work because he's Spider-Man and he was trying to like give hints, but he ended up accidentally like leaking some of it because he was just so excited.
Yeah,
And
I would not be able
Tom's
to handle
great,
that.
but
I do too.
no,
he's a sweet.
NDAs kind of suck. Yeah, I think he's great. I don't know. That's the thing. It's like NDAs are so tough to deal with. Because you don't want to, you want to say it to people, you want to kind of show it off, right? But when you finally can, it is like a volcano, just boom, and then you feel so happy about it. Exactly. Yep. So keep checking out my stuff. I mean,
mods, can I please get a shout out for Twitter? Midnight if we can? I think it's been a little past an hour since the last one, so we should be good to go.
Yeah, I've been watching your mods been throwing in there. I always keep an eye. I see some of my mutuals and my comedian there. It's good to see you guys. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, no, like for real, those of you who came by, whether you came by to watch the show, it's your first time here, you're here all the time, or you're a fan of Midnight, like thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate you guys being here. This is our second episode, and Our first one we did in 2D. This one we are doing in VRChat in my apartment in the studio here. And yeah, so you're the first one to help me show off the studio. This is like the first time I really showed it off.
So cool.
Thank you.
I
Thank
love
you.
it.
Eventually I'll get something a little better. It's very simple. Very simple. Yeah, I need to
Hey, you know what?
fix the seats, but you know.
Simple is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Don't overdo it. Always take
Yeah.
as simple as simple does. Look at the Midnight Bar, right? It's simple. And that's what's going to get you far. So.
And then you have like the coolest bar system, drink making system in VRChat. But okay,
drinks and everything.
Yeah,
but no,
so
I meant more
simple.
more so
aesthetic.
just being able to just see your aesthetic.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. I get what you
being
mean.
able to just go in. Yeah. And no, thank you. Like literally, thank you so much for like having me. This is so, like I said, I love this, guys. This is the neatest thing. So anyone who's next and you're in here, you're in for a treat, and that's an approval from me. And this is coming from someone who has an aesthetic like this. I love it. Yeah, I know it because it's like the neon. It reminds me of like the old arcades. Actually,
yeah. Here, let me give you guys like
one of the biggest inspirations.
Good view of it.
Go ahead.
Real quick, so you guys can see like the whole area. See? It's our talk show room. So behind me is a video player.
So cool.
And like normally when you walk in, it's going to be my little song playing and you can change it outside of the apartment. And yeah, and to anyone coming in, the code is also in the description. So if you want to come chill in this room, I just ask, maybe don't do your own live talk shows from here since it does have Skull's Nightshade everywhere. But other than that, like feel free to visit.
Yeah, I love it. And I was going to mention too, there was one world that I love a lot that doesn't see much of any kind of attention anymore. Well, not attention, but by the creator, because they're a very famous art designer. They do a lot of animations, movies kind of style on YouTube. They're named King 777, I believe. And they created a place called, you've probably been there. It's actually a pretty well-known kind of in between. Like you might know it, you might not know it. But 77,077 Arcade and Bar. And it's just like a whole, yeah, if you look it up and you guys can check it out, 77077 Arcade and Bar. It's just basically a library or a museum of games from arcade to Sega Saturn to Super Nintendo.
Oh, someone told me about that. Yeah, I think someone told me about that.
Yes. And I love that because in that way too, the Midnight Bar is also a museum about Cyberpunk Bartender Action Valhalla because it's one of the top 60 highest selling games of all time, and a lot of people are missing out on it. And when people see it, they've actually bought the game because of it. It's become one big advertisement for Sukaban. So if you haven't played the game, make sure to wait until a sale comes. It's still worth it in like full price. They're only like $20. There is a sequel called Nirvana. We're still waiting for that. At least the fans like me, we are on Copium right now. We're still waiting for that. I mean, shoot, we're still waiting on the next Steam VR, which is the Deckard, which apparently that got leaked. It's going to happen this year, apparently. So finally, after so long, because a lot of people have been speculating that the Steam VR or the next Valve's next VR headset. The reason why the full kit on the store, like if you go try and buy a full kit on their store, you can't get it sold out everywhere. You can't get them, but you can get the individual pieces. So a lot of people have been saying, and it's also been in leaks, is that they're actually trying to push all that stuff out so that they can get the new stuff in, because apparently, this thing is going to be standalone too.
Ooh.
So
okay.
Yeah.
Heck
so don't quote me on that. Again, these are leaks. And if you need something that comes to VR stuff, sadly, as Bradley is his name, he does a lot of VR related leaks as well as some others that I know. So Thrill Seeker's another one.
Leaks. I see.
Yeah, leaks. But I'll believe it when I see it, because most of the time
that's how I feel with leaks too. I'm like, ooh, yay! But like, I'm not going to get too excited.
Yeah, give me Half-Life 3, please. I've been waiting so long. I got Alex, but look, I need more.
Valve
please.
doesn't know 3, right? Every game ends at 2.
I know.
No 3 is allowed.
They gave this. You know what? I'm happy they gave the source code to the TF2 modding community, so now everyone can do whatever they want with it. I mean,
Yeah.
shoot, EA just released the code for made Command and Conquer games. If you remember Command and Conquer
Yeah.
back in the days, RTS, they released the code for that, so now it's open source. And
Ooh.
EA,
Yeah.
you never think EA would, because they're all closed source. Like Windows is closed source, all those types of things, right? But a lot of these companies are giving out the source code. I mean, the games are like how old now? So I get it, but
Yeah.
it's really, really neat. I'm sorry, I'm such a gamer, but I love when I see a
Gamer?
game that deserves
Ew.
love.
Here? No, we don't play games
Gamer, oh
around
my god,
here. We don't
ew.
even like
But I just love
games.
them. You know what? If there's someone that likes games, it's all of us. And hey, you know what? I adore being able to, show off worlds and to especially to give people an ability to say, you know what, I really like this. This is off a game, and there's a link to it. Then that gives, because I want them to experience what my childhood was like. And I do have one more thing that I can say. There is an Earthbound kind of world that I am working with Phantasma, and
Ooh.
Earth to Bound. It is, if anyone has played Earthbound before, we are doing a
Mother.
just like the Midnight Bar is with the bar. This world is going to be the entire city of Fourside.
Mm-hmm.
So the city that is in, if anyone's played Smash Brothers, Ultimate or the Smash Brothers Brawl, I think it was Fourside was a stage in that you're going to be able to actually like walk around, but there's actually going to be a spot where it's going to be, the first phase is going to be like an opera house.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the Topola Theater, if you know that in Forsyth. You walk in, there's a whole stage, you can have plays, you can have talent shows, and stuff like that. And eventually what we're going to do is we're going to slowly start building the city every update until the whole city's done, where you can go into the department store, you can go to the hospital, you can go to the Montoli building. You can do all those things, and it's gonna have the music and everything. Moonside already, I saw him in the chat. Moonside actually already exists. It actually does. You can find it. It's stuck in the labs part of VRChat. It's in the labs hell. Because you got the community labs you can get to. If you unlock that, it should be there. And it's sad because it looks really cool, and we just want to we kind of just want to express how those old games have done, and eventually I want to do Final Fantasy VI. Oh, that's another big game that I want to do, like in the sky with like an airship.
Yeah.
I want to do like all these types of things that to pay tribute, to all those games of what we used to grow up
I wonder
on,
if anyone's
and
done
give
one
it
with
that
like
extra love.
Harvest Moon. Probably. Like Rune Factory and all
Oh
that.
yeah, I mean, Avrif, another friend of mine, recreated a lot of the Guilty Gear Strive maps, like the New York one, and
Nice.
he's also done a couple other ones from that game. But he's also done Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. He's actually made I believe I worked with that. But the biggest one was the Banjo-Kazooie one.
Ooh.
He actually created the entire Banjo-Kazooie world in VRChat.
That's so cool.
And you can actually go see it. And eventually he wants to try and do, or maybe even complete Tui, but he is working on something right now beyond VRChat, and he wants to focus on that. So we might not ever see it again.
Yeah.
But it's just, whenever you make a mark on this platform, you want to make it in for the good of others, because sometimes it's nice to just be able to really live your childhood through a VR space.
The
right?
coolest thing was like literally seeing functional Sonic worlds from like some of my favorite stages, or like even that Sonic RP world where it's like Station Square is really cool. Like places you couldn't actually go to in the game. I love it because the way that I explained it is a lot of worlds in VRChat are kind of like, you know how as kids, like it's not so much now because there's kind of like a baseline of how games work, but we always had like our theories we made up, like whether it be secret areas or if you do this thing, you unlock this thing. I feel like those kinds of things come true when you can revisit your childhood in VRChat. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like my I mentioned
to, like,
Station
be a museum.
Square. Like there's an area with like the car garage that you can't go in normally, right? Like normally you see cars go out, and like we all have our weird theories of, oh, you could clip down there and there's some things. And then like they made it so simple. It's
Secret.
literally a garage down there with like a chaos emerald. And I'm like, oh my God, like it's just so cool, like that you can actually go down there, or like that the hotel rooms have something, or like, I don't know. I love seeing people mix their ideas and mix like that feeling we all had, like enjoying those things as a kid, and then bring it to life. Because you can always tell when it comes from that place of passion. Like that person, like that's what they grew up with. That's something they love. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and same with Valhalla. Like Valhalla is a 2D visual novel. No one knows exactly what's around the bar, but someone decided to create what they thought in their imagination what the bar would look like in a 3D space. And it's so cool when people go out of their way and still retain what makes that, you know, art style special with the game, and be able to do that in 3D is just people are nuts. Like artists are nuts, and I was like, take my money, take it.
I really wish cool things. I wish I had a lot of money so I could do things like that, man. I would do so many. And the thing is, like, I would do it partially because it's, you know, for me, for the passion part, but it's like how we talked about you with the Midnight Bar. It would be like a cool experience for other people too, you know?
I might or might not have an idea to recreate the launch base from Sonic 3, where the whole thing actually launches. The death egg.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I need someone to just recreate all Sonic Hub worlds and then just like make them go to other worlds.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I saw one where it was like, was it the Sky Sanctuary Zone? Mm-hmm. There was this one artist in VRChat that did the Sky Sanctuary Zone in their own kind of way, in a dark, like a nighttime, and had a really cool idea. And that was really, I was going to say, I actually might look them up and see if I can work with them, because they also did the Studiopolis Zone kind of style. And you know, yeah, it's the same artist. Yep.
That's cool. Yeah. Okay, I see.
And because they're into Sonic and they know exactly what Sonic is, it's easier for that love and passion to be put in those worlds if I commission them.
Exactly.
It's the wonders of what made like Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, you know, those of the childhood that I used to have, and to be able to have that shown in a way where, you know, it can be its own version without being a carbon copy of what it would be, right? But there's people that do like it. Visually, it'd be kind of like nauseating trying to put like rails and going around, and in a 3D space, you get, even if you are really good at motion, you are going to get sick. You know, there was that one POV of this is what Sonic would be like if you were in first person. Oh, yeah,
the first person. Yeah, I actually watched a YouTuber I really like play. What was it? I don't remember what it was. It was like Sonic 1, but it was like it was Sonic Generations in first person. Yes. And it was like nauseating.
I know exactly.
I mean, I've gone to some functional Sonic worlds, and like they've been okay, but some get a little uncomfy with like rail grinding and stuff like that, because just like like you have to be really good at like following Sonic, the perspective. Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there's like games like what's it called, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. That's in VRChat. People put Bomb Rush Cyberpunk in the game, or on the platform. They've gotten Jet Set Radio in here. All these amazing like important games that people put in there is such a wonderful treat. But yeah, you never know. But yeah, the next one I'm doing is with Phantasma, and if you want to see his work, he's got a really cool Toho world called the Dimensional Dream. You can find that on VRChat. That's really, really good. But yeah, keep an eye open, and maybe I'll see you guys in my next streams. Maybe.
Nice. All right. Well, before we head out, tell everyone where they can find you. I know we talked about some of your projects and other things, but like, let's just give them the direct links. Where can they find Midnight?
Yeah, sure. You can find me through my YouTube, of course, youtube.com/Midnights in Valhalla, twitch.com/Midnights in Valhalla. You can actually find all my links on my Twitch, because I know some of you guys are going to be watching this right now. It will be through like from the shoutouts I had or my links that you saw, all in my bio, just like Skulls has in hers, like her link tree and that. So most of my stuff is going to be in my link tree, all my stores, everything. But my main one that I do, that I usually am more active is x.com or twitter.com/in midinval. So MIDINVAL. If you want to see where I am usually, it's discord.gg/MIV. And yeah, I do have other stores and that, and a body pillow, but you gotta go
You
find that on my
got
link tree.
Discord/GG or .gg/mid. I am so dead. I love you so much. I thought you said MIV. You said MIV. I was like, how did you get mid? How are you that fast?
No. I do have some really cool merch with my fourth wall store. I have like a little cool pseudo Back to the Future like kind of thing that I worked with Rikito. That is actually known artist. I've done things with people like Lien, which is another friend of mine that I watch through streams. Not really a friend, but we ended up following each other on Blue Sky. I don't use Blue Sky as much anymore because a lot of this stuff everyone kind of slowly started going back into X again, which I understand. That's what happens like VRChat,
Yeah.
Everyone kind of after the EAC thing, people will try to go to other ones, and then that was a bad thing, and then VRChat started adding all those special things and add-ons, and everyone's like, oh, guess I'm going back. So yeah, but yeah, hope to see you all Monday, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is usually when I do it. Sometimes I'll do it impromptu streams. And again, thank you so much for having me. I actually had such a fun time.
Thank you for joining. I was very excited. Aww.
I love you.
I love you too. Yes, thank you so much for joining me. You are an absolutely amazing guest to have. I love talking and vibing. I had a list of questions to ask you. I could have just thrown it out the window because we got through all of them naturally. So
I get like 20 questions in.
Pretty much. I looked down and I'm like, okay, well, we talked about that. Okay, we talked about that. Well.
There could always be another time where you have me for part 2.
Yeah, for sure. No, we're definitely. I definitely want to have you back on. We'll wait a little. We'll wait. Okay, no, we'll wait a little bit longer. And we talked about some plans that you have, and we can kind of catch back up with everyone when you've done some of that stuff, or once some time has passed, and see what you're working on then.
Yeah. I'd love to have you again for charities when I get to do mine in the summer again.
Oh, of course. I am down. Okay. Just let me know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yes. All right, chat. Well, with that being said, oh, God. I forgot I moved this to show you guys the office. There we go. With that being said, we are going to be heading out, but thank you guys so much for joining us for Talk of the Afterlife, my brand new talk show. This was episode 2. Absolutely outstanding. Don't forget to let us know what we can do to make the talk show better. You guys have seen 1 and 2D. If you see my last one or you haven't seen my last one, it's in the playlist on my YouTube, Talk of the Afterlife. Pretty straight to the point. Or you can just look at my recent streams and it'll show up there too. I stream on Twitch and YouTube. So those of you who are new, make sure you guys follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube. If you would like, you can watch from wherever you would like. Unless I'm doing Twitch specific events, I stream on both places. I am very active on X or Twitter, skulls_VT. And that's about it for me. Definitely happy to have my second episode. If you guys want to see this more, please let me know too. !feedback in chat, or if you look in the description on YouTube, there's a feedback section near the bottom, and you guys can give feedback of what can be better about the stream or the show there. And, if you guys want more episodes, we could also make this bi-monthly, so we'll see. All right.
Ooh.
My lovely, amazing friends. I love you all so much. My cute little rare drops. Let me see. Let me find you. Hold on. I gotta find you. There you are. I abandoned you guys for a second. All right. All right, my lovely, amazing people. We are going to raid someone, so don't go anywhere just yet. Those of you on YouTube, the stream's going to go off in just a few minutes. And yeah, I will see you all in a sec. And yeah, I'm turning into an eldritch horror. Thanks for watching.
Bye. Sure. Yeah.
All right, guys, make sure to copy the raid message, exclamation mark rally, and we'll copy that raid message, and we will send it to Mousy. We're gonna raid Mousy, okay? All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. We're gonna be playing some Monster Hunter. Woo! Bonus stream! Yippee! All right, don't forget, streamers Skulls, Nightshade, and Afterlife are here to give rare drops and good vibes. Copy that message.